Time for another episode of Local Roots. Hi, I'm Todd Studer. It is Tuesday. It is September 9th, and that means that there is less than, a little more actually, than 24 hours left to get your application in for this year's REV pitch competition. Now, this is an opportunity for your small business to get thousands of dollars. It could be over $10,000. We don't even know for sure just how high that number is going to be yet because fundraising is still going on. And they're expecting that they could set a record this year. And I have been going to these Rev Pitch competitions for the last 3 years, not as a competitor, but more as to report on what is going on. And that's what I'm doing again this year. And I would encourage you, if you have a small business, to get your application in. I will put a link in the description here to the show of where you can go to do that. And to learn more about it, we went and got a couple of folks who are very, very strongly involved with this. Number one, it is Kelsey Stupfell. Kelsey is with TS Bank. She's the Director of Public Relations, and I see her at every one of these Rev Pitch competitions. And also Paula Hazelwood. She is the CEO of Advanced Southwest Iowa Corporation. Now, these two organizations have worked very, very tightly and cooperating together to be able to bring this event to our area. And it's not just for Council Bluffs, even though it's going to be held at Council Bluffs at the at the Pace Center, but it will reach out into the region around Southwest Iowa and possibly even a little bit further. You know, last year's winners from Eldora, Iowa. So we've had winners from Council Bluffs. We've had winners from Underwood. And I would encourage you to get that application in. It's completely free to apply. And at the very least, you're going to have some excellent networking opportunities. Well, you know what? I'm spoiling a lot of our conversation here today. So Paula and Kelsey coming up on today's episode of Local Roots. Also, wanted to remind you that if you have a leak, a clogged drain, or if you have a large project like a big remodel, Waldstein Plumbing in Council Bluffs has you covered with fast, reliable service and expert craftsmanship. And with the cooler weather coming, I know we're supposed to get warm again this week, but it's not going to stay warm. You're going to want to get that furnace checked. Go to AirServe Heating and Air Conditioning to make sure that everything is done correctly. You know, when integrity matters and when doesn't it, these are the guys that you want to get a hold of. Here's the websites: airservecouncilbluffs.com, waldsteinplumbing.com. And if you're looking for all natural health solutions in Southwest Iowa, visit Bambi's Green Acres Natural Market. She's located in Council Bluffs, and she has a wide selection of vitamins, supplements, essential oils, herbal remedies. Last time we talked with her, she talked about trace elements, which is, I'm a big believer in that. And we actually need to get back out there and have another conversation with her again very, very soon. We're going to do that. Bambi's Green Acres Natural Market at 805 South Main Street in Council Bluffs, putting health in your hands. It is that time of year again. The Rev Pitch competition is just around the corner, and even closer is the deadline to get your applications in. So we needed to find out more information, and the best way to do this is to go to the folks in charge. Paula Hazelwood is the CEO with Advanced Southwest Iowa Corporation. Kelsey Stupfell, Director of Public Relations for TS Banking Group. Thank you both very much for being a part of this here. Paula, I want to talk with you because, you know, why? Because we haven't talked a lot on this platform before. So
haven't.
Thank you so much for jumping on here. I know that this is something that Advanced Southwest Iowa Corporation really believes in. Mm-hmm. And it's because your clients can benefit so much from this.
Well, absolutely. And thank you for having us. We greatly appreciate it. So entrepreneurship actually is one of our key missions at Advanced Southwest Iowa. And I know Nikki, our former manager of entrepreneurial development, shared that with you on a number of occasions. So the REV competition is vitally important to that equation. And we're so happy that we get to partner with TS Bank on that and bring that to reality. Again, I think this is our fifth year partnering on this, and each and every year it's gotten bigger and better, and it is again continues to be a really important equation and component of our entrepreneurial ecosystem.
The other another thing that I'm very impressed by with this is not just Paula, your clients that are associated with you, but also the folks that come in and pitch during this. You take a look at all of those businesses; they're still going, they're still out there, and to me, that speaks volumes to what this can do, because it's not just the winners; it's also folks that you get such a great networking opportunity just by being involved with it.
Well, I think that's a really valid point to bring up because, it is about the connection. It's about the networking. It's about, you never know who you're going to be standing next to in a line at the event, and who you spark up a conversation with truly does make a difference. And that, again, is really all part of the entrepreneurial ecosystem. And that's what we've been working towards building, for the last several years. And so another key component of that is we love everybody that pitches, but we also are really, really interested in those that don't get the opportunity to pitch. And so that has been one of our goals and missions, is to actively reach out to those folks that really didn't pitch and offer our assistance moving forward.
Yeah, I think that's a very good point. That even if a business and a person is not selected to come in and compete that night, there is a tremendous value to just getting involved with this. And if you don't win this year, that doesn't mean you can't apply again.
That's absolutely true.
Year.
Try.
Exactly. Kelsey, why is this so important for TS Bank to support small businesses in this way?
So we love the aspect. Our CEO is a huge Shark Tank fan, so that's kind of where this originated. And then we've loved teaming up since 2020 with Advanced Southwest Iowa to make this an even bigger thing. And we just love how there's business ideas happen in our own backyard. And this is a way to bring a spotlight to all of those in a bigger way and have more eyeballs. And I think Paul and I were talking about, like, what is it about REV that you like the most? And we were talking about the parts that, like, the components of the event that we love, whether it's from the pitches on stage or, like she said, those conversations that happen in the line, like your next best introduction. And the event, I'll put a little plug, although we really would love more applications, like that's still open until September 10th. The event on November 6th, it's kind of been the signature event, and it's kind of got its own little vibe. It's very unique. I mean, Todd, you've been there and seen it kind of in action, and Paula and I are there. So it's hard to, like, I wish I could bottle it up and put it into like better words. But I think it's maybe the culmination, all of that, with the entrepreneurial ecosystem that Advanced Southwest Iowa and others have been helping with. And we love to help support small businesses, whether it's an ag startup or, a new coffee shop. We want to be a partner and come alongside those businesses that are in the throes of that. And we would love to just help lift them up with wherever they're currently at in their cycle.
I think something that you did a couple of years ago, and adding the live aspect in front of an audience, added so much to it. And then you can kind of get that feedback. I'm thinking back to a couple of years ago, and the winner, Gillette Hauling, is it Gillette?
Yep.
Up Correct, yes.
Yeah, up in Underwood. And I was actually emceeing that event, so I was backstage before he went out. Crazy nervous. And you could tell that he was way outside of his comfort zone, and public speaking was not his thing. And he got out there on stage and just was himself. And it was so authentic, and that's what the crowd responded to. He had them laughing. And in the end, the judges selected him for the big prize. I think he took, what did he take home? $15,000 that day?
15 that year. Yeah.
Other times we've seen people, very, very polished speakers, that come out and win. It's not, you don't have to have a background in public speaking in order to go out there and pitch for this thing.
Great point.
Yeah.
I think that also the sweet spot about Clayton was after, when he won that, like the whole state, like his whole family came up on stage, like his grandparent was there, and it was just like really sweet. Like his sister was, if you remember, his sister was back on the side stage, like being his like fangirl of like pumping him up before he went on there. And so like it takes like the point is it takes a lot of, you know, even in small business, it takes a village, right? And so that was a really great story to kind of see to come fruition. So,
and oftentimes, Paula, these are folks that you're already working with, so I know that they're getting a lot of benefit from there. We've had folks from Kitchen Council go through there and win, and another great resource that we have in this area. And we also should mention and stress that this is not just for Council Bluffs. This is for the entire region, because last year's winner was from Marshalltown.
Eldora.
That's right, Eldora, not Marshalltown, Eldora. Yeah, because but you're getting over in the same area.
Yes.
But it's for everyone. We've had winners of prizes coming from across the river out of Bellevue. We've had obviously right here close to home in Council Bluffs and the surrounding communities. So I would encourage anyone to apply for this thing. And time is running out, however, as this is being distributed across the web. We're less than 48 hours away. So approaching midnight on September 10th is going to be the cutoff. What's the process in applying? I mean, obviously, folks can find out more information by clicking on that, but to encourage them, what is some of the information that you're looking for in the application process?
Sure. So there is, there's the startup phase. They can even be an established business if they're adding like a new particular business. We like to give the example of like, maybe it's a coffee shop and they're going to add a bakery or a deli. And so that's a whole other like business line. So we like to say those startups is kind of the sweet spot, or they've been in business 1 to 2 years. There have been some established businesses that have also applied if they've added on another venture line. So obviously like their sales numbers, really kind of what their competitive advantage is in the market. There's a lot of SWOT analysis types of things that are in there, like what keeps you up at night, what would be your black swan. And so that's all out there, but it's those basic things that you would walk through if you're like going in to see a Paula or a banker and be like, if we would write this loan today, what are those questions that you would walk through? And so we try to keep that simple. I don't know how many questions you're gonna put me on the spot with that. Probably like 15. I mean,
okay.
You want to be thorough, but like it's enough that like if you're in the throes of it, you know those numbers, you know those answers. So,
yeah, you've been out there grinding and working, and I think also it bears mentioning for anyone who has not applied before and doesn't understand the process. This is not really designed for operating expenses. It's more about whether it could potentially be a startup, but also expansion, like you said, Kelsey, that adding a new division or something new. I'm thinking back to some of the previous winners, and a coffee shop was adding a new area, and they needed specific funding for equipment that they were going to need, or Clayton with getting upgrades to his trucks or that kind of thing. Be specific. I think that's the key. Is the more specific you can be, the better it is.
Yep. Yeah. And like Full Fledged was one of them, and they needed like their canning facility and that structure, and so that was like what launched them into like their next phase. So yes, something very specific within the realm of their business. Yeah.
How about help with funding in this, Paula? I know that there's always room to add more sponsors to get the pot bigger for these entrepreneurs. How has that been going this year?
I think it's going really well. Before Nikki Ferguson departed Advance, she had done a lot of legwork already, so that gave us our initial funds. And then Kelsey and I have been meeting and talked last week, and we have some additional ideas to grow that pot of funding as well, the prize money. So I think, like I said early on, I think we will either be at what we were last year or maybe even exceed that a little bit. So fingers crossed. Obviously, it all goes to the winners, so that's what we want. And I wanted to back up a little bit about the application discussion. Mm-hmm. To me, the application and processing that is a super streamlined and easy process. and TS Bank is largely to thank for that. So I think our entrepreneurs, again, like Kelsey said, if they're already in the throes of doing their business, they're going to have all the answers to the questions. But with that said, we have a slew of resources along the way to help them. So, that's another piece that everybody needs to know. We're just not saying, hey, here's this application, tackle it, do it. We are always there to help them on the back end. And if we can't help them, we're going to find them a resource to do so. So funding is good, to answer your question, Todd.
Yeah, we're available for questions.
Yes. And
yes.
We still have, basically a couple of months to go. And while we like to thank our sponsors along the way, the sponsor list just builds and builds. So by the day of the event, then obviously we'll have everybody in the queue and be able to do that. But yeah, it's a good year. Some good sponsors already.
Well, I think that's a great segue into who some of those sponsors are. I mean, these are businesses in the area that understand that it's turned into a huge cliche, but the rising tide raises all ships, and that is true in smaller communities more, I think, than in a huge metropolitan area. And we live in a small community, and that is I see over and over that the most successful businesses are the ones that are the most plugged into the community and are supporting what's going on inside of the community. And I'm sure that with your sponsors, that's exactly what we're seeing again.
Yes, correct.
I'll give a plug for them, Paula, if you want me to go ahead.
Absolutely.
Okay, perfect. So in addition to Advance Southwest Iowa and TS Bank, we have Google as our premium sponsor. We have Sprout Marketing as this year's drink sponsor. Our gold sponsors are Iowa Western and Big Piranha. Our silver sponsors are American Family Insurance with Castle Associates, Greater Omaha Chamber, the Council Bluffs Chamber, Modern Hive. And then we have our People's Choice Award, which is a $500 award that if you've been to the event, you get to pull who you would like your favorite person to be of the spotlights. And so NEF is the sponsor of that, Nebraska Enterprise Fund. And then we have some bronze sponsors, and that's Terraform Tillage, who was actually the winner from last year. So Josh is paying it forward, which we think is super great. Barley's, and then Bloomworks. So that's our current sponsor group. But as Paula said, we are growing the pot. So,
is there different? It sounds like there's different tiers of sponsorships that, depending on how a business wants to get involved. So is that information out there somewhere where they can look at it a little better?
Well, it's not. I would say it's not publicly out there. But if they want to connect with Paula or I, both of us have that info, and we would love to talk more.
Well, I think that all of this is it's something that I look forward to every year, and this will be the fourth one that I've seen, and I'm excited that we're going to get a chance to meet some new businesses coming in. I know that, well, and you talked about that with your list of sponsors. These are people that I saw competing before, and now they're back because they see such a huge value in what it was that happened through an event like this. I think that what you guys have built here should be a model for a lot of different communities. And because I'm a huge believer in entrepreneurs and anybody that takes a chance on themselves. And Paula, you've made a career out of it in helping those people. So, and Kelsey, what you guys are doing at TS Bank, understanding that supporting small businesses this is the foundation of what communities are built on. And the big companies are great. And I love it when small companies grow into big companies, but the vast majority or those of us out there, just a small little business, just grinding away, and to see a community support us in that way is very, very encouraging. And it kind of, when we have the down moment, we can see that this is where we can go to kind of get refilled a little bit. Paula, I wish that I could talk you into making some kind of announcement about who you have in to replace Nikki, because she was such a huge part of Advanced Southwest Iowa Corporation, and I know that you wish her well, and we all do, moving on to the next stage of her career, and it's well deserved. But above that is the organization itself. Advanced Southwest Iowa Corporation has been so instrumental in everything that I have done with my business, and now this rendition of it. We can talk about the rest of it, but I don't have therapy money to give to you. So, but I don't know that I exist professionally without the work that Advanced Southwest Iowa has done and continues to do. So, from me to you, thank you so much and I know I speak for a lot of people because
thank you. That means a lot.
Well, and I go to these events too,
So,
I go to the meetups, so I see the same people there, and they keep coming back because there's so much value in that, and so many other things that has happened from that. And Kelsey, with TS Bank and doing what you do, not just in Council Bluffs, but in the other communities, it's part of your bylaws that you have to give back, and that was part of what was put into place, back when it was founded, and that in itself also speaks volumes to the culture that you have created at TS Bank.
We like to say we were already doing this before, the CRA world, before you quote unquote had to. And it's an overflow of our culture of who we are, of a go-giver mentality and paying it forward. I think you articulated it really well that a community is only as strong as its small businesses. And REV is just one of those ways that we're helping execute that and continue to flourish.
Well, stay in touch as we get closer to the event. I'd love to have you back on again talking about it. I know that you're going to keep fundraising. You're going to keep talking with folks to grow that pot. I'm looking forward to seeing that number go up, and you can just make that much more of a difference in a small business's life and everything that they're providing for the community too. So Paula Hazelwood, Kelsey Stupfell, thank you so much for your time.
Awesome.
Thank you, Todd.
Oh, sorry. Do you want to know where the applications are?
Oh, that would actually be helpful. Yeah. So let's not wrap things up yet. Let's talk about where.
Sorry, you might want to edit that part.
No, I'm not editing nothing. There's a reason why they put erasers on the pencils.
I want them to have a good call to action at the end.
No, that's people also need to understand. Listen, I did a video short a few years ago about this need to be perfect that we all have. And this is a great point. Look, I'm not perfect. Nobody is. So stop thinking that you have to clear that bar in order to get out there and do something. You got a small business, get in here and apply. I mean, seriously, it doesn't cost anything, and right. You're not out anything. So go in there, put your application in and get it done, but you got to do it quickly because it would just have a couple of days left. So yes, where can they go to find that?
Yes. So like Paula said, we upgraded, and this year it's all online. So you don't have to fill out one of those PDF fillables. So it's very streamlined this year. We've been wanting to do that for a couple of years. So if they want to find more information and the application, they can go to tsbank.com/rev. Pretty easy.
That's very simple. Tell you what, we'll put a link to it in the description of this episode to make sure that folks can just click on that. It'll take it right to them. All right, Kelsey, Paula, I already gave you the thank you speech, so we'll just wrap it up. But we'll
thanks, Todd.
Looking forward to the next time.
Thanks, Todd.
Castle and Associates of American Family Insurance is your local insurance provider for all of your home, auto, life, business, and farm insurance needs. 4 convenient locations in Council Bluffs, Trainer, Bellevue, and in Elkhorn. They are local and in your neighborhood, ready to help you navigate the complexities of insurance today. Travis and his team educate, advise, and simplify insurance, all to protect those things you cherish most. Give them a call for your free quote. And if you're looking to buy or sell your home, get a hold of Blake Hunter, your trusted realtor with Berkshire Hathaway Home Services. Blake knows the local market and is dedicating to helping you find the perfect place to call home. He also hosts a popular podcast, Hunting Home, where he shares insights, tips, and the latest trends in real estate. Whether you're a first-time buyer, upgrading, or ready to sell, Blake Hunter is here to guide you every step of the way. Visit the website blakehunter.homes and start hunting for your dream home with confidence. Don't forget, get your applications in. You have until tomorrow night, September 10th at midnight, to apply for this year's REV Pitch competition. My name's Todd Studer. We'll see you again tomorrow morning.